Michael Saylor just tapped the fixed income market to buy another $1 billion in Bitcoin. How much is enough, Michael?
You can't keep getting away with it!
Can Saylor be stopped? It's literally every Monday. And that's not all GigaChat has been up to either. We have Bitcoin Treasuries exploding globally. And if Adam Back is right, and not to mention the Journal of the Board of Financial Management, the supply shock is getting real, and the S-curve is about to steepen. But are Bitcoin treasuries good for Bitcoin? Are we looking at a speculative attack on the dollar and centralization of Bitcoin? Is it a trap or just the inevitable? Welcome back, I'm Rustin, and we've got a lot of news to get to. Send it! Hey, let's put this buy in perspective. Michael Saylor just bought 22 days worth of newly mined Bitcoin. Why is this amount of aggressive buying happening right now? Not just by Saylor, but by the ETFs already surpassing Satoshi and holding 1.2 million BTC. And the treasuries happening right now and in this moment, what do they know? Well, I think they know this.
So I think what we have is a recognition that the interest expense for the United States is untenable if we continue running a $2.1 trillion budget deficit and we continue to have sticky interest rates. One thing that people fail to appreciate is how much the average Treasury payment has gone up. The average yield, the average coupon on Treasuries was below 2%. The entire Treasury market, all 30-odd billion of it, you average it all together. Some of them are old, you know, they were issued with higher interest rates, but it was below 2%. Now it's pushing 4%. And as long as bonds are maturing, and there's trillions and trillions of dollars of them maturing, a lot of them were issued back in, 2009, 2008, these other time periods. Even if you just issued them in 2019, some of these are starting to come due. And they were issued with coupons of 0.25%. And now it's 4.25%, so it's 400 basis points higher. So this problem continues to build, and there's an awareness now that the long-term Treasury bond is not a legitimate flight to quality asset. It's not responding to lower interest rates. It's not really responding to an inflation rate, which is now 2.5%. Probably going to go higher on the inflation rate because the ones that are rolling off from a year ago, I mean, the cumulative, I think, headline CPI that came out today, it was a 0.18, but the one that was rolling off, I think, was 0.1. And if you do the next 2 months, those 3 months together, that quarter, the cumulative rise from a year ago was 0.1. So we're likely seeing the low point in near-term inflation. So yeah, I think the reckoning is coming, is that we have to somehow figure out how we're going to deal with $37 trillion. I mean, we're actually going to hit the 37 trillion number for real. It's still 36.95 trillion, but it's going up quickly. So yeah, there's going to have to be some pretty creative thinking, and the market's starting to believe that. So the previous group talked about capital flows.
And getting back to Peter Schiff, why all the vitriol towards Saylor? Does he have a point, or is he mad his shiny rock is about to get obliterated? And also that gold has failed all throughout history in its duty to limit the state and its atrocities. Check out this clip from Trace Mayer dunking on Peter Schiff.
I've honed in on the scarcest asset on the planet that has liquidity with 110 stock to flow. Peter did say that I had said that Bitcoin has intrinsic value. That's not what I said. I said it was limited by its intrinsic characteristics. Nothing has intrinsic value. We, as humans, subscribe value to things through subjective value theory. And so that's an important distinguishment. And then it gets to our next point about entrepreneurship. One of the great things about entrepreneurship is that the entrepreneur is able to take time, labor, capital, combine it with their vision, and produce a good for the market. And the entrepreneurs that are successful, they have profits. And the entrepreneurs that have losses are those that are unsuccessful. And so what Satoshi did is he created a new monetary good as an entrepreneur. and introduced it into the market. And people, through their own subjective value theory, have honed in on it and decided, I want some of that. And now it's creating a Schelling point, and it's become the most liquid, high stock-to-flow asset on the planet. And we're only 16 years into this. I have some gold UTXOs, some gold coins that are 25, I've had them for 25 years. There's some institutions that have had gold UTXOs for millennia. Where are we going to be in another 16 years? And another 16 years after that, and then another 160 years after that. And Bitcoin is just going to continue to crank that stock to flow higher. It's going to get scarcer, and humanity is going to be putting their savings and their retained earnings into it because it treats that capital well, because it has this high stock to flow, a stock to flow that's now twice gold's, but it will eventually be even higher. So it's a superior monetary good in many of those ways.
The century of total war was no mistake, and gold did nothing to prevent it. Gold already failed. Do you not understand? This is Hayek, Hoppe, and Mises' revenge. There is no stopping it. Roll it.
That the century of total war coincided with the century of central banking. No government has ever said, because we want to go to war, we must abandon central banking. Or, because we want to go to war, we must abandon inflation and the fiat money system. Governments always say, we must abandon the gold standard because we want to go to war. That alone indicates that the restraint that hard money places on governments. Precious metals cannot be created out of thin air, which is why governments chafe at monetary systems based on them. Now, while it's true that a gold standard restrains government, it's also true that governments have had little difficulty finding pretexts, war chief among them, to abandon the gold standard. For that reason, the gold standard in and of itself is not a sufficient restraint on the government's ambitions at home and abroad. But what we need today is the separation of money and state. The war machine and the money machine, in short, are intimately linked. It is vain to denounce the moral grotesqueries of the U.S. empire, without at the same time taking aim at the indispensable support that makes it all possible. If we wish to oppose the state and all its manifestations, its imperial adventures, its domestic subsidies, its unstoppable spending and debt accumulation, we must point to their source, the central bank.
Strategy's success is undeniable. So is the debt doom loop, inflation, and the desire to find the best store of value to escape all of it. And it's happening on a global level. Hence why Pakistan's finance minister spoke with Saylor, who may be helping advise them on their Bitcoin strategy.
Your time today. I'll stay in touch with Bilal. I would offer you just one final thought, which is it's a global economy. Pakistan has many brilliant people, and a lot of people do business with you. My company had less than $400 million to invest, but the markets gave me $40 billion because they trust us. And so the most important thing is leadership, intellectual leadership, and that they trust you. If the world trusts you and they hear your words and you speak articulately, the capital and the capability will flow to Pakistan. It's there. It wants to find a home. And that's what happened with our company. Our success is because we were clear and committed. And once the market decides who the leader is, they get behind the leader and they send their money to you. And I think they'll do it to Pakistan too. You have the most important thing, which is you have a commitment and a will and clarity here. So I look forward to working with you.
Now the big question, are Bitcoin treasuries good for Bitcoin, and should you buy them? We're about to bring it home today, but before we do, look at our likes!
3 or 4 times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp while we take a moment to recognize our sponsors powering this show over at the Bitcoin Way. Self-custody has never been more important. Learn how to run a node and don't get caught holding IOUs, paper Bitcoin, refuse to be placed in a digital gulag. And get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Self-custody is the revolution. Visit thebitcoinway.com and begin your journey towards sovereignty today. If you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link in the show notes. You ever tried to explain to your friends that Ron Paul was right about everything and they just ask if you caught the game last night? Well, boom, we got you covered. The Orange Pill app is the single largest repository of Bitcoin-only events in the world. Connect with over 16,000 other Bitcoiners in real life. Bitcoin is better with friends, and now you can zap them instantly all in one app. What are you waiting for? Download the Orange Pill app today, go hit a meetup, and who knows? The connections you make could last a life. Feeling I experienced it myself, and I'm sure many of you did as well. My question for you is, did you do the work? Did you put in thousands of hours of research to buy a fiat derivative of Bitcoin? That's what a stock is. Well, a Bitcoin treasury company. You're giving a company or entity your money to buy Bitcoin for themselves so that you get what at the end of the day? Peter Thiel points? More paper? More fiat? What are you here for? To separate money from state or to buy someone else's stock or shitcoin so they can buy Bitcoin and make you the yield? So that you what? In the future have more slave money stable coins? Stop chasing yield or you become the yield. Bitcoin treasuries are for some, but it isn't Bitcoin. It's a fiat derivative that uses you and the idiotic system to pump its bags. And that's good for them. They're public companies. Plebs don't win by holding fiat derivatives. They win by taking part in the revolution. And that's how we end all of this bullshit.
Did Iran attack the United States of America? Is Iran the reason that no one can afford a house? Is Iran the reason that there's fentanyl everywhere? Is Iran the reason that we've got political corruption? Is Iran the reason that we have 12 people that own everything in this country? Is Iran the reason that we have an epidemic of poison food that's killing people and children? And when your insurance won't cover a knee operation and you have to go bankrupt to replace your hip, is your main concern that Iran? This is the craziest I've ever heard in my life. We've been using Iran. Iran has been like, we've been using Iran in this country forever. Everything is Iran.
It's very simple. Sound money and freedom bring peace and prosperity. Fiat destroys and corrupts. Even in the Bible it says, unjust weights and measures are an abomination in the eyes of the Lord. Reject it and that entire system. There's something better. And this time traveler has already revealed the future runs on a Bitcoin standard anyway. Check it out.
Today, we're going back in time to ask the people of the past one simple question. What is money?
Excuse me, what do you use for money around here?
Turns out, not every economy is ready for interviews.
How do you buy things?
Shiny rock. Me trade. Me happy.
What do people here use for money?
Cowrie shells. Shiny, rare, and perfect for trade. If you've got a handful, you're basically royalty.
Counts as real money here.
Denarii, solid silver. You use it to buy bread, wine, or mercy. Especially mercy.
This is our money. A rice stone. It doesn't move, but everyone remembers who it belongs to.
Money today is great. When we run out, we just print more.
Is Bitcoin real money? If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to convince you. Sorry.
What's money in the year 2140?
One Satoshi. Fiat is gone. Bitcoin is forever.
From shiny rocks to worthless fiat, and now Bitcoin. Math wins. Reporting from Mars, Didic is out.
Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget, the biggest Bitcoin mining conference on the planet is heading to Dallas, Texas, November 11th through the 13th. The Simply team will be on site, and we hope to see you there as well. So grab those tickets today, and don't forget to use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp by sharing the Sound Money Gospel, and set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin delivered to you daily. We got a lot more coming your way, so stay tuned. And I'll catch you all next time. Love you guys. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, you.